Welcome to HomeFront Sitrep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out HomeFront Sitrep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting.
Out on the edge of the battle and back, we've carried the weight and we've walked every track. From desert dust to the fire at home, we've learned how to fight, how to stand alone. But no one tells you what comes after the war, when silence is louder than the guns we bore. That's where we speak, that's where we heal, stories too real for Hollywood reels. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, when warriors to battle just differently. This is our check-in, our voice, our step. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. For the fallen, the fighting, and those who came home. For the brothers and sisters who still feel alone. We're holding the line with truth and respect. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. For the fallen, the fighting, and those who came home. For the brothers and sisters who still feel alone. We're holding the line with truth and respect. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. It ain't all medals and waving flags. There's pain in the silence and weight in the facts. But we've got a mic and a mission to share, to tell the damn truth, cause somebody's gotta care. We laugh, we cry, we cuss, we pray. We honor the ones who ain't here today. From basic to battle and back to the block. This is our rhythm of round table talk. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, when warriors to battle just differently. This is our check-in, our voice, our step. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. Still heavy in dreams out of reach, for the lessons the textbooks could never teach. We're sounding off, no filter, no prep. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. So if you've worn the boots or love someone who did, if you swallowed your hurt and kept it all hid, pull up a chair, you're not alone. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, where courage meets scars and raw honesty. This is our anthem, our truth intercept. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. For the ones still standing and those we've lost yet, for every single story we'll never forget. We speak so others won't forget. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. Real talk, real facts, real life. HomeFront Sitrep podcast, where the mission continues.
Welcome, everybody, to a Sunday edition of HomeFront Sitrep. How is everybody doing? Mr. Steven, how are you, sir?
I'm very good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing awesome. I can't complain. The week went by, man, I tell you what, this year, but this last week has just gone by stupid fast. Didn't have a college football game to go to yesterday, but Friday night we went to the local high school football game, which is something we do regularly here in the Willis household. On Friday nights, we go support our local high school team. And then on Saturday, we usually go to EKU, where my daughter goes to college, and watch the home games there. Well, they had an away game, so we didn't go. And then today I went into work. I got some overtime in today because we're on 12 hours of overtime next week. So went in, got, I think 6 hours today of overtime, just so I don't have to push myself next week to get all the overtime all in a few days, because I've got too many things going on, too many irons in the fire, and it's just like so. But yeah,
and
no,
you also have to have time for yourself and for family. You have to schedule something around that.
Right. So tomorrow I don't have a show tomorrow night because I have the Marine Corps League meeting tomorrow night. So that's time for me to hang out with my brothers and my brothers there at the Marine Corps League Detachment 729 out of Louisville, Kentucky, and get to hang out with them and share some camaraderie that way. But tonight, I got you on here as a special guest. So do me a favor, guest host, Do me a favor, introduce yourself to the world of HomeFront Sitrep for the ones that don't know you and who you are.
Well, I'm Steve LaMonica. I'm co-host of the Tuesday show from the Misfit Nation, and I'm here to hang out with Mr. Willis tonight and talk to his great guest and his audience.
Heck yeah, man. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So Steven is the brother of Rich LaMonica, which you guys
Mhm.
have heard me talk about him numerous times. Rich is the reason why I do video podcasts instead of still doing audio. So Rich is like my mentor. And he's, his brother from another mother. And then we've created this community of veteran podcasters, which I love. And it's just,
I,
we
I
share,
think that's fantastic. All you guys, when you get together, you're all different from around the place. Everybody comes together. And you're all one big family talking to each other. I love it.
and the good thing is we all have different views on things,
Hmm.
and we could disagree on things, and then at the end of the night, guess what? We're still friends and we're still family.
Exactly.
Like this guy right here, Mr. Tac-Ops from Triple Threat Vets podcast. His views are different than my views, but guess what? That's still my brother. I still love him at the end of the day. I'm gonna be there for him if he needs me, just like I would with you and Rich and Travis and everybody else that's involved in that. And it's just amazing that we get to share our views, which a lot of us we have a lot of the same views, and then we get to have great guests like like our guest tonight, or like the 3-star general Brian Kelly that we just had on that was retired. We just had him on, and then Marie, which I think did you get to interview Marie, or was that on Rich's main show?
I think that was on Rich's.
So and we get to share all these guests, between
Yeah.
our podcast and everybody else's podcast, and it's just, man, it's phenomenal. It's amazing,
Yeah.
and I love it, and I just love the community that we're building, and the networking. Like now we got the art of podcasting that we do within Cav Arts, which is Challenge America. They have a program called Cav Arts, which is Challenge America Veterans in the Arts. So learning how to play the guitar, how to podcast, how to paint, how to leather work, all of this. So if you're into art therapy, regardless of what type of art therapy it is, Challenge America has cavarts.org. If you're a veteran, you can go join that, and you get connected with people that are very like-minded as you are. Like, so if you love doing painting flowers like Bob Ross, Happy Trees, you can go do Happy Trees. If you want to learn how to leather work, metal forging, whatever, they have a spot for you in Cav Art. So go check it out. And that's what I love about doing this podcast. Almost 3 years. We've done a lot in this 3 years. Still checking TikTok too. That's why I keep looking over this way. We've done 3 years. Met a lot of great people, off of TikTok and just doing the podcast in general. And it's my therapy. I tell people all the time, this is my therapy when I get to come on here and hear other veteran stories, like the story we got tonight. He will tell you he hit rock bottom at one point, and we all have hit rock bottom, but it's about the resilience that we have to keep us going and how we bounce back. Because don't let this get you. If you defeat yourself here, you're screwed. It takes you a long time to get out of that headspace. So you just got to keep pushing forward, man. Team never quit. So
Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's always going to be a better day, as long as you're in.
Yeah. So this right here, I'm gonna do this early. This right here. In the silence of your struggles, remember, though unseen, you are deeply held in the hearts of others. You are not alone. That right there is so powerful, man. Just because I don't talk to you for a couple months, don't mean that I don't love you and that I don't care for you, and I don't want you to show up tomorrow, because you never know. I might need to reach out to you tomorrow and say, "Hey, bro, I'm struggling with this." So whatever, don't let your dark days win. Reach out to somebody. That's what we're here for.
Amen.
So I'm going to read a little bit about where'd my email go? Our guest tonight. I had my email pulled up, and I guess I must have closed it. So tonight we got Dr. Tony Dice coming on the show. Tony Dice is a former Navy SEAL, turned clinical. Where did it go? Where did that email go? There we go. I got it now. I'm back on track. Back on track. So Navy SEAL turned clinical therapist, speaker, author, and founder of Bishop and Dice Defense, an organization that provides both Tac-Ops and Psy-Ops to veterans, first responders, and high performers navigating trauma, addiction, and reintegration. That's all I need to say. I'm gonna let him say the rest. So let's bring up Dr. Tony Dice. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
Hey, guys. David, Cagney, thank you for having me on the show today, man. It's an honor to be among so many that have come before me that have just, you guys made the space to get the word out to those who need the help. And that opening quote you had, talk about setting the tone for the night. I mean, right there, that phrase, that's a mic drop moment right there. Because in vets, it's funny. I will kick my own ass. I will beat the shit out of myself. I'll be down in the dumps. But when I see you struggling, somehow I'll get up. And I said, my
Yes,
buddy
sir.
needs help. And I'll get my ass over there to help you. Because there's something about being of service that's deeply rooted in us. And that's kind of like the key I want to talk about today of how we can get through to those who are hurting, who are kicking the shit out of themselves, and motivate them to be something more. Get back
Amen.
in the game. Hell yeah. Well, thank you for
Well,
having me today, guys.
Well, I want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy day and coming on and hanging out with us here on HomeFront Sitrep, because I know you're a busy man, just like we're busy on our end here. But do me a favor, introduce yourself to the world of HomeFront Sitrep if you don't mind.
Sure. My name is Dr. Tony Dice. I'm in recovery. I start with that saying, hey, I'm 15 years, knock on wood, clean and sober, no drugs, no alcohol, living a totally different life. And everything about me has changed. But it wasn't always that way. On my way to the bottom, this now sound like quite the journey to the bottom. I was a paramedic, firefighter, Navy SEAL. That was on my way to the bottom. I was one of those high performers that under the hood, there was all kinds of shit misfiring. I had a lot of stuff going on in here that I was battling with already on that journey. And it all catches up with you. You think you're getting away with shit left and right, but sooner or later it comes time to pay. And, when the alcohol stops working, when the drug stops working, and when it turns on you, there is a reckoning. And my journey included hitting a bottom. We'll cover that tonight. I'll talk more about that moment. It ended up, finding a therapist who somehow got through to me. God bless him. Entering into like a program of recovery, being able to ask for help, which was a foreign concept to me. Finding out that my brain still kind of worked. I was really worried about that shit. Going back to school, and I had no degrees. I was a knuckle dragger. I was just comfortable pulling the trigger, and that's all I needed to know. But going back to school and wondering if there was something more I could do, I got my associates, my undergraduate, my master's, and my PhD because I'm an addict, and I got addicted to education. But in that journey of that through academia, I discovered a lot about wow. I kind of always lived my life like the end will justify the means. The mission comes first. I need to accomplish what I need set out to do, no matter what. And in the journey of the self-awareness, I really kind of grabbed onto no. I got it backwards. The means will justify the end. It's all about the journey. It's all about the relationships along the way. Who did I help? Who can I be of service to? And in finding that out, I found freedom from all the shit that's been torturing my soul all that time. And
Hey,
I was
hold up
able
one
to.
second.
Oh, sure.
Well, I think people are saying they can't hear you. I know I can hear you on my end.
Oh, let's check some
I can
settings
hear
here.
you. I can't hear him.
You can't hear me? Oh, why didn't you say something?
On Facebook, I can hear him. If I put Facebook on, but that's a delay.
Huh. So you can hear him on Facebook?
I can't hear him in studio. I can hear him on Facebook.
See, I can't hear him on Facebook, but I can hear him in the studio.
Oh, we're 11 kinds of crazy right now.
Yeah. So
Let's see. How will we know if we fix this?
all right, can you guys out there, other than me and Steven, can you guys hear Dr. Tony talking? Let me turn up
Here we go. Test 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear him, Steven, at all?
No.
No, can't hear me.
Like I said, on Facebook, I can hear him.
Huh.
Hmm.
Let's see. I can hear him loud and clear, but I can't hear him on Facebook. That's weird.
Wow.
This is very rude.
This
I'm
is
sorry,
just-
doctor.
No, it's
yeah,
good.
Technology gremlins, man.
Let me check Heroes Media Group.
Sure.
Let's see. All right, TikTok land. Can y'all hear Dr. Tony Dice on TikTok? Let me see if I can.
Test 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. Test 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. Anybody hear me? Anybody hear me out there? Hello, hello, hello.
I can hear you, but he can't. All right. This is really weird because
I know. Cagney, can you hear me? Nope.
Stephen can go out and come back in, Stephen, and see if you can hear him then.
Okay.
Because I can hear you loud and clear, but I can't hear you on Facebook, which is really weird.
This is weird.
Yeah, I've never had issues where people can't hear my guest.
That is weird. All right, let's reconnect a few things here.
But yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. I don't know why. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but I want to make sure people can hear you. Because that'd be no bueno if we can't hear you.
No problem.
All right, so I can hear you on Facebook now. So I just muted it because I don't want it to come through.
Sure.
But I know I can hear you. He just can't hear you. So hopefully he'll come back in. All right, so let's get back to where we're at while we're waiting on Steven to come back in here. All right, sorry about that.
Sure.
All right. Let's see. He's back. Can you hear him now, Steven?
Can you hear me now, Steven?
I can hear you now.
All right, we're golden.
Amen.
There we go.
So, Steven, you really didn't hear any of what I shared?
No, not at all. I saw how you were going around and talking. Like, I can't hear damn thing you're saying. Willis is jumping in saying, yes. I'm like, guess what?
All right.
So do you want to start over or do you want to just roll where you were left off?
Oh, we can start over, man. Let's get a clean recording. Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it's live, so, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. All right, guys, you're getting the uncut version.
Bloopers and all. All right, so do me a
right.
favor. Introduce yourself to the world of HomeFront Sitrep again.
Oh, I know. Hey, everyone. Thank you, David. Thank you, Steven. It's an honor to be here. You guys have set the stage and really created a platform to get the word out to those who are suffering, those who are hurting. My name is Dr. Tony Dice. What am I famous for? I'm famous for blowing my life up. I'm famous for taking the high functioning paramedic, firefighter, Navy SEAL, kicking ass, hard charger. Ask anyone who met me. Hard charger. Under the hood, there was all kinds of things misfiring. I love to drink. I love the Navy. I love this relationship with alcohol. You drink to indoctrinate, you drink to elevate, you drink to separate, you drink to alleviate. It's how we show our emotions. I mean, that stuff is just, I fell in love with it right off the bat. So blowing my life up, hit bottom. There was a therapist who got through to me. God bless that guy. Fell into a world of recovery. I realized how to ask for help, which was a foreign concept to me. There was some, I want to capture that opening blurb you had, that quote. That was so important. The ability for us to be able to find the strength to help others. I will be face down in a puddle, just miserable, depressed, getting ready to just, I can't go on. But if my buddy needs help, I will find a way to get up and help my buddy. There's something in us that drives us to be of service, and that is
Yes, sir.
something I held on to in recovery. And that's what I want to talk about later on, that life preserver. I need to learn how to be strong so that I can help others. That was my motivator to get back on board in my life. Went back to school. I was apprehensive about whether or not my brain skill worked. I had used a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol. I had no degrees when I got out of the military. I was a trigger puller, and I thought I would never be anything more. But I went back, got my associates, my undergraduate, my master's, and my PhD. I became a therapist. I wanted to emulate that therapist who got through to me. I said that guy was a badass. I mean, my whole life, I had kit bags and gurneys and M4s and all this gear I had used to help people. But that therapist came to work with a cup of coffee, and he saved my ass with a cup of coffee. That stood out to me. That guy's a badass. And so I went back to school, got my license, went out and started helping veterans. I made it my goal. I want to do what that guy did, because it is no fun blowing up the family, losing the house, jobs, self-respect. I weighed 130 pounds when I hit bottom. I weigh 220 right now. I was just, there I am. That's my son, Ronan, youngest, and man, skin and bones. That was me. Whew. So anyways, went back to school. I started Bishop and Dice Defense as a way, it's kind of a bait and switch kind of company. I will go into law enforcement, first responders, the VA, anyone who will hear me, and I will start off talking shop, shooting the shit like you guys do left and right. I will help outfit your team with the best gear, the same gear the SEAL teams are using. I'll sell you ammo, all the cool, fun Gucci toys that we love, and for a whole year, we'll become good friends. On year 2, I'll switch gears on you and bring in the mental health services, and we'll get to talk about real shit that matters after I've earned your trust. So Bishop and Dice Defense, defense of the mind, body, and soul. So here I am today, guys. I've written a book out there. I captured my journey, and this isn't a shoot 'em up, bang, bang, war hero movie kind of book. This is a book about all the secrets and the shit that we're ashamed of, that we never want to talk about. I was just brutally honest, because that's when you finally get clean and sober, that's what you learn to do. And this book is for someone, if you're stuck in a cycle and you keep blowing up your life and you don't know why, this might give you some insight. If you have a loved one who keeps making the same mistake over and over again and you think they're freaking insane, this might shed some light on that quandary for you. So I'm here today to talk about veterans that have hit bottom, veterans that the wheels are falling off, veterans that are just they're stuck. The record players keep skipping and they don't know where to turn. I'm here to talk shop and let you know there's other ways to be of service in this world that may help you find a whole other second half of your life that you never dreamed of.
I love that. It's fantastic. I mean, here you are. You're a hard charging Navy SEAL, which I'm a knuckle dragger too. I was infantry in the Marine Corps, so I know all about being the hard charging and going full throttle, because that was me. I mean, when I caught my first wife cheating on me, I went back to this right here, which is bourbon. Because I'm from Kentucky. I'm from Barstown, where they made 90% of the world's bourbon. So that's what I grew up with. And so I tell you, I was drinking a fifth of Jim Beam a night after I caught my first wife cheating on me. And luckily, I had a good chain of command that said, "Hey, you need help." So they sent me to detox, 60 days in the hospital.
Yeah.
Came back from there. Then I had mandatory AA meetings that I had to go to. And it literally, they drove me to the AA meetings on base. And made sure I stayed there the whole time.
Hell yeah.
Did that for, I think, 2 years. And, I didn't get busted down. I kept my rank. I didn't lose pay or anything. Of course, they knew that I was going through a real bad divorce, because I came back from cold weather training in California, Sahara Nevadas. Came back a day early and caught her in bed with a Navy guy. So I don't hold that against any Navy guy, but he was a podiatrist assistant. So, yeah. So he was he played around with feet all day long. So anyway, I caught them in bed together. And I turned around. I literally dropped
Mhm.
the whiskey. I had her E&J because that's what she loved, E&J, which is a cognac, and I had some flowers for her. I just dropped it right there at the door of our bedroom, turned around, got back in my car, went up to my buddy's house that was 6 houses up from my house. I went to high school with him and his wife, and she goes, "I got something to tell you." When she opened the door, I said, "No, you don't." I just caught her, and she goes, "Yeah, she's been cheating on you the whole time." And I'm like, "What do you mean the whole time?" She goes, "The whole time y'all been together, she's been cheating on you." I was like, "You waited to now to tell me this after I married her?" Because
Oh.
we were only married. We got married October of '99, separated January of 2000.
Oh.
We dated for a
Oh.
year and a half. They could have told me beforehand, before I
Yeah.
got married.
It would have
But
saved a couple steps.
it would have, right? So
Yes,
so
unbelievable.
I went down that rabbit hole with alcohol, and for the longest time, I didn't even touch. I mean, 15 plus years, I didn't touch alcohol, and now I've been married to my wife 20 years now. It'd be in November, it'd be 20 years.
Nice.
And we've been together 23 total. But she's only seen me drunk twice. One
Yeah.
time was in the Dominican Republic because she left me in the pool with another Marine. Bad mistake.
Bad
So,
mistake.
and they had a swim up bar. So I was drinking out of my little Yeti cup that I had, my big tumbler,
Right.
32-ounce tumbler, and just swim up to the bar, and she'd fix me another drink, and then I'd go back, me and him shoot the shit some more, and kept doing that. And then my group finally came back, and they're like, "All right, let's go get something to eat." And I got out of the pool, and that's when it hit me, when I got out
Yeah.
of the pool. But I don't want to go back down that slippery slope. And I know me, I'm like you. I have that addictive personality. When I find
Yeah.
something that I enjoy doing, I get addicted to it.
There's
And
an extra part of that too that you brought up, man, that when the shit hit the fan, you fell back on what you trained, what you
yeah,
knew was to drink. The military taught you that, man. If
yeah,
anything goes wrong, if you're feeling any sort of way, if your buddy freaking dies, a drink's gonna fix it.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
no, it's not just the military because I've never been in the military. And when I was in a relationship back after high school, 6 years, the relationship ended. I spent 9 months in a bar. And
Yeah.
it's not just military, it's just mindset.
It's
Get drunk
mindset.
and forget about it. And you got to
Well,
break that
yeah,
mindset is what the problem
it
is.
is. And it's family run, it's passed down dad to kid or the people you hang
Yeah.
with. It's
yeah,
trained into you. If you have
yeah,
a problem with someone at work, what do they tell you? Go get a drink together.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Your mom
I mean,
dies. Let's get a bottle and we'll get through it together.
yeah. I mean, it goes. I can trace it back. Like my granddaddy, my mom's. So he's my mom's stepdad. But when
Mm-hmm.
I was born, my grandmother, and my mom's mom and dad were divorced, remarried already. So to me, this my grandpa, right? Every vehicle he owned had a bottle of vodka on the vehicle, whether it's a tractor, whether it was his personal car, whether it was his four wheeler, whatever. He had a bottle of alcohol on there. He's the only guy that I know that got pulled over in his driveway. His driveway, they had 110 acres. His driveway was considered a county road, but it was gravel and it was 2 miles long. So it connected this road and this road, and his house was in the middle. And
Right.
he was driving his tractor in the driveway and got pulled over by a sheriff and went to
What?
jail for DUI.
You should have fought
Wow.
that shit. You should have fought that shit.
But
I think you had a case.
since it was a county road,
Yeah.
even though he maintained it, it was a non-maintained county
Oh,
road.
okay. It wasn't his driveway. Yeah.
So technically, it wasn't his driveway, but he fixed it because where he didn't maintain it no more past the creek, nobody could come down. There was no reason anybody would come down. So he never got DUI after that first one.
Oh man, I know.
So he did
Yep.
fix that.
Yep.
So here you are. You hit rock bottom, and I'm gonna put the picture back up because I know you asked to share the picture. So this is you at your rock
Honestly,
bottom.
looks like two different people next to each
Yeah.
other.
Right.
Yeah, let me tell you about that picture. That was 2 weeks before I ended up in a treatment center. And gosh, two things had occurred in the month leading up to that photo. One, I have all these seasons, when I was in the military, when I was, ambulance, when I was in the fire department, it was drinking with the boys, we're drug tested, so military is a drug that we're allowed to partake in, and we do it well. We learn the drinking code, when to start, when to stop, how many hours to wait, all that drug math. We learn that, we know it well.
Yep.
But whenever I get comfortable, and when I was in the teams pre 9/11, we do a lot of training, a lot of spinning up, and a lot of like, all right, guys, try not to get in trouble, and that was code for me to get drunk. So I go get drunk, and a lot of the team guys I was hanging with, we're going really hard, and I learned pretty quickly that you do a couple bumps of coke. Whew, straighten you up. Okay, I can keep going, and I like that. I like staying in control. I like that, and I'm not advocating for drug use and drinking, but back then, if I wanted to drive home and not get a DUI, well, a little cocaine would get me home, and that's the life I was living. It was reckless. I was also dabbling with ecstasy, and these are things that the Navy frowns upon. And so there was a lot of these close calls happening. I was like, whoa, don't go into work today, Dice. You look kind of rough. And, I could tell the writing on the wall that if I kept going as hard and as wild, that sooner or later something was going to happen. That was just what was going on. I got out of the military.
You just described me in the late 80s, but
there we go, man. I was just smart enough to realize that, okay, listen, reenlistment's coming up. You obviously have a drug addiction going, and you want to party. There's no war going on. Hey, let's punch out and, get out of this before something bad happens. I was able to get out of the military, chase my addiction. And this is when I was trying to transition out of the military. It was like I had this animal in a cage called the military, and it kind of kept me under control. And when I got out of the military, it was like they took the top off the cage, and you had this highly trained individual who could do whatever he wanted. I had never had that kind of freedom before. I can do whatever I want. I can be wherever I want to be. No accountability. And I just went, it was just, it was, I'm telling you,
you were a Tasmanian devil spinning around.
Tasmanian devil, man.
Yeah.
Shooting the fatty rails, going hard, going to Vegas. It was just crazy town. And as we know, when you party that hard, it's progressive in nature. And I quickly escalated through pills and different concoctions and ended up on crystal meth. And crystal meth was, let's just say, put it this way. Cocaine is a very expensive drug. And for financial reasons, I switched to crystal meth because it made good financial sense. It was a lot cheaper. But it takes a toll on its body. I was financing my drug habit by taking contracts overseas. I was remember the years when they had when Blackwater was getting in all that trouble?
Yeah.
That whole era. Well, let's just say I wasn't working for Blackwater then, but I was in that same generation of people doing crazy shit down there, downrange, and it was wild. It was a wild, wild west. It was how I kind of thought the SEAL teams were going to be when I got there. And there was financing a really good drug habit. And going back and forth, I was having PTSD, but my solution for it was staying really tore up when I was in the States to deal with it. And then another solution was take another contract, because when I was in country, I was fine.
Right.
Good to go. Come back to the States, have to stay tore up. So I was doing that little dance. And on a video game, when you start taking damage and your health points are going, that's what I felt like. I felt like I was taking damage. And that picture was me taking a lot of damage. And I got to a point where I was trying to take another contract, and the guy was literally looking at me going, Dice, get your shit together, man. You look tore up. And I was like, well, double F you guys. I'm going to go out and I'm going to find a different way, and I would just go out drinking and hitting it hard. Now, this next part I'm going to share, man, it's in the book. It's really hard to share with you guys, but it's important. It was really a come to Jesus kind of moment. Remember the H1N1, the swine flu pandemic that we had?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was going on. And I was on a 3-day bender, And I was married at the time, and I had a young son. That picture, Ronan is in that picture. He's 2 years old, and he was at daycare. And remember, I'm on a 3-day bender. I haven't been home in 3 days, but the daycare calls. And when you're that tore up, you don't answer the phone. You let it go to voicemail. And you listen to the voicemail, and it says that there has been an exposure at the daycare facility. Please come pick up your kids. You know, everyone's having their kids pick up. And so when you're all that torqued up like that, you're going, oh no, my son's in trouble. I gotta save my son. Okay, let me just put down this pipe here. You know, all right, I'm gonna get ready to go pretty soon. Maybe my wife will get him. And then the phone rings, and my wife's voicemail says that she's out of the area. I need to get him. So, okay, let me just get out of here. Let me just use a little more. And I'm hitting the pipe, and I'm trying to get out of this room, trying to get squared away. And the daycare's calling, my wife's calling, my daycare's calling. And for 3 hours, guys, I couldn't get out of this room. I could not get out of this room. And I remember looking at the phone and turning it off. Turning it off and just using. And using at a different kind of like hard. I drank harder, and I used harder, and I stopped looking in the mirror. Something inside of me, like a spirit breaking, I stopped looking in the mirror. I began to hate that guy because I knew deep down inside that I was an addict. This shit was the most important stuff in my life. And my whole life I had trained to be a hero. And that night, my son needed me, and I could not be there. I could not. I was beaten, man. I was just broken. And it was, you think that'd be a bottom, but that was just the beginning of like the really steep downward, going hard, augering in, you know, trailing smoke and flames coming in hard.
Right.
You know, when we've all been there, when you're drinking, you have a bottle of vodka, and there's a third of the bottle left, and you've already tore up. And you know you shouldn't do it, and you just say F it. And you finish it. And you don't care what happens. You don't care if you don't wake up. It's like a passive suicide. It really is. And that was every night. A couple weeks later, I was in another house, and you know, there was I call it like a house of ill repute. You know, there's just debauchery going on in every room, people shooting up over there, a fight over there, crazy sex shit over there. And it's a bad place to be. And it's 3 a.m. and there's these two kids there, 12, 13 years old. And they have these airsoft guns. You know those guns that shoot those plastic pellets?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And these two kids, they have little jeans on, and they're no shirts, and they're shooting the pellets at each other. And I'm sitting on the couch, and these kids have horrible weapons handling skills, and they're sweeping the shit out of me. You know, I'm just flinching, and I'm getting angry with them. And I say, screw it. And I go upstairs, and I pass out in this pile of dirty laundry. And I'm awoken later by one of these kids kicking me in the leg, pointing the pistol at me, saying, hey, freak, hey, freak. And I roll over, and I look past the pistol, and I look in this kid's eyes. Dude, it was like the shit of nightmares, man. His eyes looked like shark eyes. Like there was no innocence in this kid's eyes. He's seen too much shit for a little kid. He was no longer, he had lost all his innocence. And I'm looking at this kid, and I'm going, oh my gosh, my dad died of this disease. I'm going to die of this disease, and my son is going to die of this disease. This is what's going to happen to my son. And whatever that one little firing instinct in me said, I had to get up, and I went downstairs to that house. Now I'm dating myself now. I'm in the kitchen, and every single house in the U.S., if you searched hard enough back then, you will find in the kitchens a thing called the Yellow Pages. Yep. And it was the internet in book form. You know, literally you flick through the pages, and I looked for a treatment center, and I just randomly put my finger on the Farley Center. So shout out to the Farley Center. They had a bed available. I was 9 hours late getting there. And that was finally when I reached out for some help, you know, and it wasn't an easy road in treatment, but that's like the beginning of me wanting to do something different.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah, man. And it was, it's funny. They say whatever, you know, you gotta do recovery for yourself.
Yeah.
But but anything, anything can get you in the door. A judge can get you in the door. Your wife can get you in the door. You can get yourself in the door, but to stay in recovery, you got to do it for you. But so often we find other motivators just to get us to start. And for me, it was this realization that no, I'm not going to do this to my kid. I'm going to break the cycle. I got to. And that's wow. I finally found the strength to freaking swallow my pride and ask for some help from somebody.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
That's the hardest thing for us as veterans is swallowing our pride and say, "Hey, I need help."
Mm-hmm.
For me, when I got out of the Marine Corps the second time in 2004, I didn't go to the VA right away,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't start my VA journey until 2022, the end of 22, and it took my wife saying, "Hey, if you don't do something, we're getting a divorce."
Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
took, and I love my wife dearly. She's amazing. She's put up with me all these years. I mean, it takes a special woman to stay with a Marine this long anyway.
Amen to that.
And for her to say, "Hey, your PTS has got worse, your anger issues have got worse, your hypervigilance has got worse, your anxiety's got worse. If you don't fix it, we're getting a divorce." And
Mm-hmm.
my drug of choice right now is my podcast and helping other veterans. So I went hard at it the first 2 years. Like literally, I went from one show a week to two shows a week to four shows a week because this was my drug. This is
Yeah.
and I tell her that all the time. This is what's helping me minimize what I have going on in my brain up here. But this was affecting our relationship
Mm-hmm.
with my kids. I got two daughters. One's a freshman in college. One's a senior in high school. It's my military career that I had has affected them in a way. So I didn't have kids while I was in the service. I had kids after, and for them to see dad, wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning screaming his head off because of the shit that I've seen,
Yeah.
that it freaks them out. And both of them at one point was like, "Hey, I'm going to go into the military," and I'm like, "All right, what do you want to do? What do you want to do in life after military service?" My oldest wants to be an FBI agent. That's her ultimate
Oh,
end goal is to be an FBI agent.
wow. That's good. That is so cool.
I was like, all right, if you want to go into the military, go into the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
So right now she's doing criminal justice and cybersecurity in college at EKU.
Nice.
And she's thinking about going into the ROTC program and then going to college afterwards. But then again, she might not even go into the military. She might just go into a private sector job, which is for me. If she goes that route, I'll be happy. But if she goes in the military as well, I'll be as happy as I'll support her anyway. And then my youngest wants to be a high school history teacher, but she also wants to be a medic. So she's like, "Dad,
Nice.
I want to go in the military and I want to be a combat medic. And then once I get
Aw.
done with that, I want to go be a high school history teacher." Well, right now she's getting ready to go to Bellarmine University, which is a local college here, very prestigious university, and she got a $30,000+ scholarship.
Yes.
And she's like, I'm going teaching. I was like, let's do it. Let's rock on,
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things that we as veterans, we don't like asking for help because we were
Mm-hmm.
taught when we were in the military, hey, don't, especially when we were in, because I was in from 97 to 04, don't ask for help. Don't tell anybody you're hurt because you're going to get sidelined. You might not be able to do your job. So we were taught don't ask for help. And that's kind
Yeah.
of issues that I got going on right now with the VA. I have nothing in my medical record. Like literally, I was in Greece. The Lance Corporal that was driving the Humvee decided to go
Right.
50 mile an hour in a creek, and it's only got that little troop strap on the back. Well, me and the guy across from us we both fell out of the back of the Humvee in the creek and was passed out for like 2 minutes. So I know I got a TBI. I know I got a TBI, but it's undocumented because I didn't go to BAS. So we have to we need to break that stigma of saying we're too prideful to ask for help. Because if we need help, there's people like you, there's people like me, there's people like Steven and Rich and all these other guys that are out here putting out information daily that we can help veterans out there. And that's what we're here for.
Yeah. I mean,
and I don't know how many times a week we give out our own personal emails saying if you don't want to dial and ask for help, email us. We'll call you. We'll talk to you.
There you go.
We'll get you off
There
that
you go.
bridge. You know,
Yeah.
it's a constant thing you have to do. You have to beat it into your guys' heads because you have a thick skull.
That's
No.
a great point there, man.
You hit rock bottom and you've built yourself back up.
Yeah. Right before we roll into that, let's stay on that point for a second there, because that gosh, how do I want to put this? Let's see. When you beat yourself up, like say that last part again, Stephen. You just got through talking about
you hitting rock bottom and picking
right
yourself
before
back
that.
up.
Yeah, right before that, you were talking about. My brain just skipped over that.
Being thick-skulled.
I know. My brain just skipped on that. No, there was an awesome point there about what it takes for us to be able to reach out and get help. You know, it's drilled on us. Be a team player. Be a team player. Be a team player. To be a team player means that I got to handle my shit and be there for my buddy. You know, that's what's drilled into us. You know, you suck it up, you carry your weight, and that's how you be a team player. And that military, it's the whole thing's one giant machine, and you're a cog, and you got to do your job, or the machine falls apart, and mission failure. So the machine comes first, and that's for the military to function, guys. It's a war machine. It's not a mental health machine. It's designed for the mission must succeed in order to preserve freedom. Right. So that it's never going to be this healthy, joyous, and free machine. But I think there's a shift in mindset, you know, Dave, that you talked about, being that I need to be strong so that I can help my buddy, you know. And I think this piece here, ready for it, if your buddy trusts you enough to ask for your help, isn't he doing the greatest honor he can ever give you is trusting you to help him?
Yep.
Dude, I mean, if I come to you, you know, and I go, Steven, buddy, man, there's no one else I can talk to about this, man. Can you help me out? I mean, I am giving you this. I don't trust anyone else in the world. I'm going to you, and you're going to be there for me. You know, that to flip that mindset, that is a huge privilege you're giving someone, is allowing them to help you.
Yep.
Yes, that's the message. If we get to the new recruits saying, hey, man, you know, we take turns being there for each other. We're all not up at the same time, and we're all not down. For us to succeed, I got to trust you, and you got to trust me, and we got to take turns doing this shit. Yeah. You know, no one's a rock solid all the time, 100%. I don't care how big a badass you are. There comes a time where you're going to need someone to carry you.
Well, you know, my brother has admitted it. Willis just said it, and it took you seeing this kid with a pellet gun. Somebody eventually needs to smack you and say, "Hey, there's something going on. Let's fix this." Because in your mind, everything is okay. In your mind, it's just it's Sunday and that's it. Whether your mind is going 800 miles an hour or is dead center and nice and calm, it's a normal day. It took his wife to say that. It took a kid with a pellet gun looking at you saying, damn, for you to get it in your head, let me go get some help. We need to change that. We need to, you know, I don't know how to get you to realize it. How screwed up it actually is, running around with a little mouse in your head running in circles. I need help. Let's get it done, you know?
Well, it's different for each veteran. So our stories are similar, right? But our service is different. So it might be different for it's different for each veteran that's out there. It's different for each human that's out there. So unfortunately, you have to hit rock bottom before you wake up and realize, hey, I need to turn my life around. And a lot of times, unfortunately, that doesn't happen. That's why we have 22 a day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's been too much money spent on awareness and not enough money spent on the root cause and the fix for it. Because there's a lot of people talking the talk, but they're not walking the walk.
Yeah.
And then I will tell you right now, with all the social media platforms that are out there, with all of them, the toxicity in the veteran community, and what I mean by that is veterans, all right, they're veterans, but they borrow valor. So they go out there, they got a platform, they borrow valor, and then they're lying about they're embellishing their story, right, to make themselves look better for their community. And then it comes out, well, you're not just hurting yourself, you're hurting all those veterans that come in there and that are supporting you and thinking, oh, he's doing great things to help us as veterans, or she, whoever is doing things to help us veterans, but come to find out they're just run of the mill veteran that's doing things, but yet they embellish the story of their service. Well, that right there hurts us as veterans. It hurts the veteran community. And then you got content creator here. Well, this content creator gets upset because this one's got more followers. Oh, let's bash this content creator. And then, so it unfortunately, the toxicity in the veteran community blows major donkey tail. And the reason I say that is because we as veterans need to be supporting each other and lifting each other up. Because if we cut down, if I see Dr. Dice, right, and I'm like, oh, this guy, he's nobody, he's nothing, that's cutting him down. That's making me look bad because, one, I'm cutting another veteran down, and then that's just causing that rift, and that ripple turns into a friggin' tsunami. And that's why we as veterans, we can't get out of our own way because we're too prideful, and we're going to say all this negative stuff about this person, but not even the negative stuff that we're doing.
Yeah.
So we have to lift each other up and not cut each other down.
Yeah, definitely. And that honesty, it's funny that when you see two old grizzled veterans across from each other, all it takes is a head nod.
Yeah.
For me, know that you know that I know that you know. And dude, enough said. It's just it's all it takes. And the same thing in recovery. Those of you who've been into recovery and you finally got that monkey off your back, you see someone in a meeting out there and it just takes a head nod to that I know that you know that fuck yeah, been there, man, done that. That connection right there lets me know in that moment that I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in denial about all the bullshit you're fronting people, if you're still hitting the bottle every night and you're lying about how much you're drinking to your wife or how much it's lying to people at work and you're drinking by yourself and all these secrets you're keeping, all that's eating your breakfast, all that's eating your lunch, all that stuff that you're thinking that if I let you in, if I let you really know how bad it is, you're going to think I'm a piece of shit. So I'm going to keep you away and I'm not going to let you in, and that's that space there of me not saying, dude, I'm really effing up. I need to talk to someone. That piece there, that's you participating in your own rescue. I can throw you a life ring, but you got to put your arm in it. You got to that's the hitting the bottom.
You have to be willing to do that. That's what it is.
Yeah,
You have
that's
to be
what
willing
it
to
is.
do that.
Yeah, I can show up on your door. I can knock, but you got to answer it.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like the old adage: you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah,
it's I tell my kids that all the time. I'm like, I can give you all the tools. I can lead you to the water, but if you don't drink it, that's on you. I can only give you the tools to succeed. I can't make
Mm-hmm.
you succeed. I said I can only give you the tools to make you succeed. Um,
Yeah.
and
But
it just drives me bonkers.
yeah. And that idea that veterans helping veterans and how powerful that is, that's the high suicide rate. And I attribute that directly to this. The military does a number on us. They send you off to this boot camp, which is basically, a brainwashing facility that kind of teaches us how to function in close proximity without killing each other, and then programs us to put the mission first. And in that journey, listen, guys, it's a war machine. Every drop down menu we pull down for decision making, violence is an option. You
Yeah.
think boot camp is a peaceful process? No, it's under threat, intimidation, bully. I mean, you don't want to get your ass kicked, so let's do what we have to do so we don't get in trouble. I mean, it is under duress that you learn how to function, to fold your skivvy stack so you don't want to get your ass kicked. So we learn that violence is an option for every single problem in my life. I carry that programming when I get out of the service. So if I'm having an argument with someone in the street, my drop-down menu is going to say, beat his ass. And I got to tell myself, I can't do that. All right. Or I'm in an argument with the wife. My drop-down menu is going to say violence. And I got to say, I can't do that. If I'm drunk and I hate myself, suicide is a violent act. That's going to drop down. And I have to somehow find a way. I can't do that. That's the difference between talking to someone who's not a veteran to someone who's a veteran. You have to realize that I am programmed. The violence is always going to keep dropping down on my menu. Every time I try to solve a problem, I have to convince myself not to lash out.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at your website, which I got scrolling across the bottom of the screen here, bishopdicedefense.com. Now,
go.
On your website, so you there's two sides to your business, right? You got the tactical side where you have products, and then you got the other side where you go in with services. And I'm gonna go here to your services because I was looking at on the product store, and it says here on your products. So you got shirts on there. It says your purchase helps support your mission, and then here underneath services, you got handgun training, precision rifle training, shotgun training, carbine training, SWAT training, whole list of weapon training, and then it goes in. I think you also have your combat medical training, tactical combat casualty care, tactical emergency casualty care. So you got a whole spectrum of things that you offer here through Bishop and Dice Defense.
Yeah.
Which is friggin' phenomenal.
And let me speak to that real quick. We're a veteran-owned small business. Scott Bishop and myself, for almost 4 years now, got together and we said, hey, how can we reach the heroes of our country? They are hard people to get through, and this is my impression of the psyche of law enforcement, the psyche of fire departments, the psyche of veterans. Is I'm standing here with my dukes up. Inside my head, this is every single veterans, law enforcement, first responder. How you doing? I'm fine. I don't know who you are yet. I don't trust you. This is me mentally talking to you. I am not open by any means. Now, I'm taking a step back and I'm slowly opening my arms up into palms open. I am uncomfortable. This is not a comfortable position to me to be open and accepting of others. I'm much better up here, dukes up.
Yep.
These communities do not want to talk about what they're going through. They don't trust anyone. And I want to give a quick shout out to law enforcement out there, guys. For the last 10 years, I've been working with veterans, law enforcement, first responders as a therapist. And, when you're in the military, you deploy, you go in country, you do your business, you come back, you train up, another cycle, boom, deploy again. You have this cycle. Well, law enforcement never comes home. They are forever deployed. They're living in country.
Yep.
Imagine me going to Afghanistan and trying to seek out mental health services in Afghanistan. You think I'm going to trust any therapist over there? Am I going to trust any restaurant over there? I'm not going to trust shit. over there.
Yeah.
That's what it's like for law enforcement trying to seek help in country. You're forever deployed. So shout out to the law enforcement. You guys are doing an impossible job. We are here to support you guys 100% because you you're handling, you're doing a job that is not getting a lot of praise right now. So
Yeah.
a shout out to you.
Yeah. I want to piggyback off of that
Sure.
because there's a lot of nonprofits here local in Kentucky that, have veterans and first responders, law enforcement, EMTs, these guys, police officers, EMTs, they see trauma on a daily basis. We as
Yes.
veterans, we see trauma, but we don't see it on a daily basis. Law
Mhm.
enforcement, every time they step out of their cruiser, whether it's on the side of the highway, whether it's going to a welfare check, whether it's going to a friggin' call, they have to wonder, am I making it home tonight? And the spouses and children of law enforcement officers think the same thing. I have several.
Mhm.
I have several of my close friends. Some I've served with in the Marine Corps. Some that I have, over the last 20 years, have cultivated this friendship with, and we go on vacations together, and we hang out at Friday night football games. That are in law enforcement. And it's like, bro, and granted, I live in a relatively small town here south of Louisville. So Louisville's the big city. If you know anything about Louisville, Kentucky, it was on first 48, and it's all, really bad. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the top 10 worst cities in America when it comes to crime. These guys that I'm friends with, they some of the stories they tell about some of the shit that they deal with, and it's just like, bro, their PTSD level is on a whole nother level compared to what we as military veterans have to go through after our service, because
Mhm.
theirs is it keeps accumulating every day,
Mhm.
every day.
And they're doing this for 20, 25 years every
Right.
day.
Imagine having a deployment that lasted 20 years.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
crazy.
Yeah.
So definitely a big shout out to all police officers and first responders. My sister-in-law is a first responder. She's a captain. Her husband's a captain as well, and as an EMT
Hell
and
yeah.
paramedic. So big shout out to those guys.
Big shout out to them.
Law enforcement and EMTs, and I'm going to also throw in teachers and nurses in there
Yeah.
as well, because nurses deal with trauma. Probably
Oh my
not as
gosh.
much as probably not as much as police officers and EMTs, but they deal with trauma as well.
No, depending where you work, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
they have it going on. Yeah.
So
Oh man.
big shout out to those guys, and don't be afraid to ask for help. We have to break that stigma, and don't be, if you're sidelined for 6 months because you experienced a really bad trauma, whether it's moral injury or just regular old traumatic experience, don't be afraid to ask for help, because
Oh yeah.
that shit's going to mess with you for the rest of your life if you don't solve it now. And a lot of them wait till it's too late,
Mhm.
unfortunately, and that's the same thing with us veterans. We wait till it's too late, and before we ask for help. And that's why a lot of veterans and first responders start a 9mm, unfortunately, and
That's
because
right.
because they wait too long to ask for help. So you got to break that stigma of that. And it's this right here. I'm gonna throw it up on the screen. Hashtag you are not
You are
alone.
not alone. You are
So
not
reach
alone.
out to somebody. And this right here, you like my first comment. This one right here, it says
Uh-huh.
the uniform may come off, but the bond remains, and together we heal, we rise, and we carry each other forward.
Mhm.
That's so
Absolutely.
powerful. Whether you're a first responder, whether you're a military, once that uniform comes off, that bond is still there, and we're here for you, and
Absolutely.
we got you.
Yeah. And that was our mission. Scott Bishop and I, we said, hey, how can we put together some kind of vehicle to get to those people who don't are resistant to help? They have
Yeah.
their dukes up. And we came up with this format. I said, listen, I've been working in the field as a therapist for these populations. And Scott, man, he's like this wizard with contracts, and he knows how the legal red tape, and he's got that stuff down. I said, let's put together a company. For their first year, we're just going to spend getting these companies, these guys, law enforcement, first responders, the VA veterans, to trust, talk about what we know. We love gear. We love to shoot. We love to, hang out together. We love, what are the guys hearing about? What are the guys using nowadays? What's the latest tactics? We love training. Let's just do talk about what we love and connect. That's how you go to the range with someone, you connect, and it takes some time. And we'll spend a whole year, providing training, providing services, getting the uniform supply for a whole police department. We will outfit every single officer head to toe. We'll produce, this shipping container has officer's name on it, and with full loadout, everything for a whole year. We'll just do whatever these guys need. And the whole time talking to the guys, what's going on in the world. Year 2, once the relationship's there, we bring in and say, hey guys, I got this cool group. It's off the books, totally anonymous. If you just have questions about what you're going through and you want answers, I'm there. You just show up, you ask me some random question, I'll give you a straight ass answer, and we'll just begin the conversation.
There you go.
Can you imagine if you're wondering, hey, if I ask someone in HR about what having some time off to go to rehab would look like, would it hurt my career? They're not going to go into HR and ask that,
No.
But if they had an anonymous group where they could log in with their camera on, their camera off, and talk to someone who knows and say, hey, I'm in law enforcement. I don't even have to tell you what state I work in, but I've been this many years in the force, and I'm thinking about this, this, and this. Am I in trouble? And B, if I raise the red flag, what's it going to cost me? Give you straight answers, and we can begin the journey with options. Hey, you can go to outpatient treatment, you go to inpatient treatment, you can get individual therapists. You're doing the first step of just asking the questions. Let's see if we can connect some dots and limit how bad your bottom goes. That's my whole mission is I don't want you to have to go as deep as I did. I don't want you to lose the house, the dog, the car, the job, everything. Maybe just lose the car. Maybe just get a DUI.
Right.
Let's stop there. But we don't stop, man. We will keep going. Those high performers, the same little thing inside your head that doesn't let you quit, those people you meet who are just hard-headed, will get shit done. You can't stop me. You can't stop me. Those are the people who don't stop going down either. I'm not going to quit. I can solve this problem. I'm not as bad as I think I am. Those are the guys who go all the way in. The one who are too stubborn, too hard-headed to ever ask for help.
Yep. I agree with you 100% on there.
Now let me ask you a question real quick. Is your partner as high strung as you are? Because my God, you are a ball of energy.
Oh my God. I love doing public appearances. I get up on stage and I'll do safety stand downs for a command, and we will just go, we will go. We've been in recovery forever together. I got 15 years, he's got 14 years. And so we've known each other for a coon's age, and it is just, it's having someone who knows you so well on your whole journey. We all have those battle buddies out there.
Yes, sir.
And let's go. Let's do some good for some people. Yeah.
I personally love your ball of energy. I mean, you're very. We could probably sit here for hours and talk.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, with Reese Across America, they're like, you got to keep it to about an hour, 15 minutes. And I'm sure we only scratched the surface of who Dr. Tony Dice is. And what Bishop Defense is and all of that. But unfortunately, it is about that time. So you got a book out there. Where can people find your book?
All right. Grab yourself a pen and paper. Write this down. Go to www.drdicebook.com. Let me say it again. drdicebook.com. You'll get on my mailing list. My book's going to drop next month. You're going to be the first one to get it at a reduced price. Now, let me say two things. Who is this book for? If you find yourself doing crazy shit and you don't know why, and you keep making the same mistake over and over again, and you're like, oh, this book might shed some light for someone else who's been doing the same stuff their whole life and then eventually blew it up. You might say, I recognize these patterns this guy went through. If someone you love is driving you insane because you are watching them self-destruct on the regular, this might give you some insight to how their brain might work. Maybe they're just as crazy as this guy. Either one of those. And, you know, there's some wild tales in there, guys, I threw in there because we make some crazy poor decisions when we're under the influence, for sure.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. All right. Second thing, social media. I'm on all the platforms. Just Google Dr. Dice and I will pop up everywhere. Just remember, Dr. Dice, pop up. Please follow. We have a lot of cool shit going on. I'd love to have you involved. And if I could plug one more thing out there, guys. Okay.
Go for it.
We've been talking a lot about U.S. veterans because there is a severe need for U.S. veterans. With the conflict going on in the Ukraine right now, you know, they do not have the VA like we have over there, you know, and they have, you know, 1.8 million people in a conflict in the Ukraine going to war. We only have 1.3 million service members active duty right now. So they have a huge population and they don't have any kind of support. So I'm not asking for anybody to give any money to do anything, but I just want you to know a vet is a vet, you know, someone who puts their life on the line for their country. Hats off and respect for that. There is a company out there I volunteered with this year called the Mountain Seed Foundation, who takes the families of disabled veterans from the Ukraine. They bring them up to these camps, and all they do is focus on resilience to help the family get healthy again, to deal with the disabled vet, to help them be a family again. You know, these are families like you see here, but they're under just extreme circumstances. I got the honor and the privilege to go help with them over the last couple of years, and it is just, you know, pay their site a visit. It's called the Mountain Seed Foundation. It's a nonprofit. They're doing incredible work. Beyond that, guys, thank you guys for what you're doing. Anybody who can put a platform out there that shows that veterans are not alone, that there's others out there going through this shit. If I can help you get through one more day, please give me a call. You will find when you help someone else get through one more day, that gives you the strength to go on as well.
Amen. Amen.
That's right.
Thank you for picking yourself up and doing this and making this and helping others. You know?
It was the therapist who got through to me, man. I mean, someone else. I'm doing this because someone did it for me. You know, it's that whole self-aid, buddy aid. I'm helping you, you're helping me.
One hand helps the other all the time.
Dude, we can't do it alone, man. We can't.
Nope.
Yeah, no, and this right here, I'm gonna throw this up there because you just said one of my talking points. It takes a village.
It does.
You can't do it alone. It takes a village.
Amen to that, man.
So if somebody wanted to reach out to you to get you scheduled on a podcast or a speaking engagement or something of that nature, how do they go about getting in touch with you?
All right, you can go to Dr. Dice at bishopdicedefense.com. Or hit me up on any of my social medias. Dr. Dice. There you go.
And Stephen, if you want to have him on the Tuesday crew, you got his email. You should, because when I emailed the link tonight, his email's on there. So just reach out to him, get him scheduled for the Misfit Nation. So I think he'd be a great guest for you guys.
Absolutely, Stephen. Hell yeah.
You and Lacey would have a good time with his
oh, definitely. Yeah.
Oh,
positivity
she's crazy
here. So
I had a good time tonight.
Heck yeah. Well, Dr. Dice, Mr. Tony, I want to say thank you again for taking time out of your busy day and hanging out with us for this hour and 15-minute ish. And sorry for the little technical difficulties at the beginning, but after that, I love it. Everything's been awesome. So thank you again for coming on and hanging out with us.
Not a problem, guys. Thank you so much, man.
You're welcome. So we're going to drop you down. We're going to end up the show, but if you want to hang out and we can chit chat afterwards, that's up to you. If you got things to do, that's more than welcome as well. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, guys.
Everybody.
Woo.
All right, Mr. Steven. How cool was that, brother? You still there, Steven? Dang, I don't know why it lost his audio. Oh man, come back and come back in. Let's see. Can you hear me now? I don't know why his audio keeps dropping. Go out and come back in. I don't know why his audio keeps dropping. But anyway, man, I tell you what, I guess he decided to drop off. Great show tonight. I can't thank Dr. Tony Dice enough for coming on and talking about his story, how he went from rock bottom. I'm gonna show that picture one more time. That's Dr. Tony Dice at rock bottom with his son, and now you saw what he looked like just now when he was up on the screen. He looks like a totally different person, and it's all about somebody reaching out and getting through and lifting him up, giving him a hand up, not a handout, because we don't need handouts, we need hand ups. And sometimes it's just trying to get through and breaking through that wall that we put up, and we all do it. All humans do it. We put that wall up because we don't trust people. When you get to that point, you don't trust anybody. So you definitely got to be willing and ready to accept that hand up. That's what it's all about, is breaking that stigma and being ready. And then this right here: to every veteran who carries unseen scars, know this: you're not alone. The battles within don't have to be fought in silence, because your brothers and sisters still stand beside you. You're not alone. That's so powerful right there. That, like I said a while ago, this one right here: the uniform may come off, but the bond remains. And together we heal, we rise, and we carry each other forward. That's just so powerful. And listen, guys, hashtag be someone stranger. We talk about this every episode on Homefront Sitrep. Listen, we as humans, we're more apt to talk to a complete stranger than the ones we love the most. So be someone stranger. If you're out and about and you see somebody and it looks like they might be having a bad day, go up to them, say, "Hey, how you doing?" And if they give you the red flags, "I'm okay. I'm hanging in there. I'm living the dream." Ask the next hard question: how are you really doing? And they're going to open up. It could be a 5-minute conversation, could be an 8-hour conversation. Be ready for that conversation. You never know. You might save that person's life. And then this right here: it takes a village. We just talked about it. It takes a village. I can only do so much. Dr. Dice can only do so much. Gunny, Rich, all of us that are out here in the veteran space, we can only do so much. It takes a village. That's why we've come together and created this community that we have created, because it takes a village to help. If I don't know the answer, I sure hope somebody in my network will have the answer to help whoever I need help for. So it takes a village. And then I want to give a big shout out to our partners, man. Uh, Heroes Media Group with Adam Bird, friggin' amazing organization. Go check out heroesmediagroup.com. All kinds of veterans on veteran podcasters and media personnel within Heroes Media Group. Reese Across America Radio. Man, I can't say enough about Jeff Pierce and his team at Reese Across America Radio. They play our episodes Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern, on reaseacrossamerica.org/radio. Like I said, you can find us Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern on Reese Across America Radio. And then also WMTW-DB, The Mount. That is a veteran-owned internet radio station that airs Homefront Sitrep episodes not all day long, but sporadically throughout the day. So you never know. You might catch Dr. Dice. You might catch Lieutenant General Brian Kelly. You never know who you're going to reach. So go check out WMTW-DB, The Mount. There also is an app that you can download from the App Store or Google Play. They play country music. They play high school football on Friday nights. They play a little bit. It's internet radio. You can get a little bit of everything. Big shout out to sameflagsameoath.com. Matt and Becky Johnson, small veteran-owned t-shirt company out in Texas, Katy, Texas. Friggin' phenomenal. They have our shirt, Marine It Down, on it, and that's a wordplay off "Keep It Simple, Stupid." You know, us Marines, we like to keep it simple. So Marine It Down. So go check it out. Elite Engraving, who did this amazing hat. You can go order our hat off of Elite Engraving. Go check them out. Small veteran-owned company in Campbellsburg, Kentucky. I love supporting veteran-owned companies out there. And then go check out our website, HomeFrontSitrep.com. Go check it out. You can see all the veteran nonprofits that we've had on, veteran business owners, veteran authors. All of these books back here, you can't see them all, but they're all veteran authors and stuff. Veteran comedians, veteran singers. So go check out our website, HomeFrontSitrep.com. But it is about that time of night, my friends. Unfortunately, but it is that time of night. So, like we always say on Homefront Sitrep, stay safe out there. We got your six.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your six.